conflict, this dispute, the strike, develop into something bigger, into greater crisis, as it was the case with the grain exports, for example? What do you think?
No, I don't think, no. First of all, Ukrainian politician elite already have an experience of a grain crisis and do not want to escalate.
Okay.
Basically, I think they just want to wait till new government to be formed.
Right.
And to cooperate with more pro-Ukrainian or more pro-European government that will come to Poland, that will help to provide proper negotiation. On the other hand, I do not think that this strike has such big influence on Ukrainian economy as we had before with this traffic jam with agri-export. So yes, it's not pleasant for Ukrainian business. It's not good for Ukrainian economy, but we don't see any macro effect yet, and that's why I don't think so that we will see some escalation.
Okay, I hope so, but please educate us, or me at least. Is this an economic or a political issue, the strike?
No, it's a completely economic issue because it's a question of competitiveness.
Right.
And Polish strikers do not want to compete with Ukrainian transportation companies. Ukrainians have some advantages of new regime with new trade regime with European Union that was implemented after Russian invasion. As a result, first year 2022, everybody was focused on the war, and it was like a bad idea to do some strikes. But now people are quite tired. They see that they're losing some part of their business, and they fight for it.
Okay, but what happens to the industry in general? You know, I mean, in Ukraine and in Poland, respectively, if the blockade continues, I don't know, for another month or even 2 months, is that possible? Because there's another 2 weeks to Donald Tusk's government, and then until the issue is resolved, it could be a month. What happens? What is the
I think it will definitely will see at least 1 month of the strike. No doubts, just because all the processes in Polish government need to be done, and at least 1 month, yes. When we're talking about industries, again, I do not think we will have some major effects. It's create problems for some retailers, for instance, especially pre-New Year and pre-Christmas sellings under a question for Ukrainian retailers. On the other hand, Polish producers of milk products, for instance, also struggling because they used to have a big share of Ukrainian market. And now they just can't come to Ukrainian market. And Ukrainian producers are very happy about it. So both sides are struggling, yes. But again, it's not a major macroeconomic problem. It's problem of some small businesses, small sectors, some sectors of the economies. And they will continue to struggle, no doubt. Some of them try to avoid these logistic traffic jams and start to transport through Slovakia, through Hungary, through Romania, for instance. But again, not everybody could afford it.
Well, those Ukrainian companies or Ukrainian parts, Ukrainian people that are happy about the strike are certainly not the members of the families of these 2 poor drivers that died on the road, waiting for the road to be opened. But are you telling me that the strike has little or even no effect on the prices in Ukraine?
I do not see any effect on the prices now in Ukraine by the strike, really.
Okay, thank you very much. But can strikers block all the checkpoints? What's going on next? I mean, what I'm trying to understand. I mean, it's been 4 or 5 crossings closed at the moment. Blocked at the moment, excuse me. What's next? What about the checkpoints? What if all of them will be blocked? What then?
Okay, the next problem could be Slovakia, where the other association of Slovakian drivers also want to block it. So it will become major problems than it is now. But again, it's only problem for the guys who use road trips, road transportation. We got a lot of cargoes that goes through rail, for instance, and we have no influence on that kind of transportation. We got proper relations with Romania, and now I think Romania became a biggest hub, and for Ukrainian agri and for other transportation. Yes, some businesses are struggling, and as long as it takes, as much you struggle. But again, it's not a problem on a macro effect yet.
I hope it won't become one, really. But
I also.
yeah, indeed. I say the Polish freight carriers, which is actually the largest lorry fleet in the European Union, they are simply unable, they're wary of competition with Ukrainian carriers. They cannot compete. At least that much is obvious. So what strikers can be hoping to really achieve, and how will it harm Ukraine, or will it harm Ukraine in any way?
Again, we will see what kind of compromise to be reached. So we don't know yet what kind of compromise will be. So we will see, would they reach something or nothing?
Or nothing.
I think we will have some compromise or some not major topics, because for Ukrainians, for instance, it's unacceptable to just forget about this European integration and forget, oh, we have no right, let's come back to the situation that we have in 2021. No, it's unacceptable. So there's going to be some compromise on it, but I think on some small level of what they wanted.
So are you actually absolutely sure that there will be no shortage of imported goods because of the strike? So this is totally impossible? Okay, possible, but not very likely. I know it's micro, not macro. You told it, but what I'm really afraid of is that the micro usually becomes micro in like 1 or 2 days, like that these days. So.
Okay, currently we don't see possibilities of such shortage because again it's quite diversified. But is it possible? Yes, it's always there is possibilities that something will happen. Basically, because we have a war in the country, and Russia will do something additional to the strikes.
Absolutely.
Some bombing, some attack that will increase problems. Could it be? Yes.
Okay, I'll take that as an answer. Thank you. But in your opinion, there's protests, there's strikes. Is that a consequence of, let us call it a temporary anarchy in Poland? Not an anarchy, but a piece of a timeline without the government that is able and capable of decisions, of solving the problem. Is that the thing?
I think it's one of the reasons why it's so long, for instance. But to be honest, I think we're now watching demo version of European integration of future European integration of Ukraine. And we will see a lot of such strikes during next 10 years from different part of Polish and not only Polish economies. So we just have to accept it and get used to it. And do not take it very emotional, because when you was mentioned these drivers who were dead, and a lot of Ukrainians take it like a personal, very personal. What happens? Talking about it's not about economy; it's about country, it's a war, and you can't do it, etc., etc., etc.
Right.
I think this emotional part exists, but again, we have to use to it. We will see a lot of other problems like that in the next 10 years.
Yes, absolutely. I agree. We have to take that emotional part out of the big politics. But part of my job is sometimes to ask questions to the people, that not to forget completely about their emotions. And these two drivers would be better if they would be still alive, of course. But the country and the politics should be put aside of it somewhat. You are absolutely right, and I agree with you. If I say, nevertheless, that Russia staged this strike and the whole mayhem about it, would you agree with me?
No, I don't think so. There is some conspiracies that make in such theory, but as for me, it's conspiracy.
Okay, how would you rate then Ukrainian authorities' reaction and actions to this strike, from 1 to 10?
8. It's nobody is perfect, but again, it's hard to explain because there is no real possibilities to affect
I agree
the
with you.
strike.
That is right. That might be
So that-
my fault. Yeah, it might be a bad question to ask, a tricky question. Okay, what advice then would you give to both negotiating sides, to Polish side and to Ukrainian side?
Well, I don't think that I have such an option, and I have a right to give an advices, because
Okay,
from both
let's imagine
sides
that
there
you
is
do have the right. I empower you to do that. Do it. Go. Put a piece of advice for
just
both sides.
forget emotions, find some compromise, but do accept new reality. And new reality is that Ukraine going to be a member of European Union soon, and already part of of European Union economy. So just accept it. Please accept it, our Polish friends, and let's go through. Let's find a way how we will build our relations in the future, next centuries, for instance, being a part of European Union.
What a super pro-Ukrainian advice. I just love it.
Sorry.
Absolutely. 140% pro-Ukrainian. Please accept it, our Polish friends. Let's move further. I mean, lovely. And I hope that will be actually the case. And all right, well, let's move to European Commission. In all this mayhem, as I called it, does the European Commission have any real power to resolve this matter in case the Polish government fails to do so, or the parties fail to find a compromise? European Commission can resolve the issue or not?
To be honest, I'm not very experienced with all this European bureaucracy. So from my point of view, I think they have nothing to do, and they can influence only by paying money or not paying money.
Right.
What we have seen previously when we were talking about agri problems, especially taking into account that there is no real government in Poland, and their influence could be only through government. And if there is no government, then they can only produce some statements, nothing more.